Today I'm going to show you how you can paint wooden beads super fast. This is so easy, and there's so many different techniques and color combinations that you can do to create fabulous beads to craft with. So I actually, when I was filming this, got a little bit overwhelmed because there were so many things that I wanted to show you and so many things that I wanted to create. I hope it's not too long of a video, but make sure you stick through to the very end to see all the beads that I created because they are fantastic. Okay, let's get started. Okay, I have a whole bunch of wooden beads, some from the dollar store, some from Amazon, some have a little bit of stain on them, and I'm excited to get these painted. I'm just going to add a little bit of black acrylic paint into the bottom of this little dish. Not very much, just a little bit. I like to do this in small batches, and just a little tiny drop of water just to make it flow a little bit better. And then I'm going to take a skewer and I'm going to stir it around really well and mix it. Once it's mixed really well, then we're going to be ready to add the beads right into the little dish. And I'm going to use these raw wood beads that I got from Amazon first. I'm just going to throw them right in that acrylic paint. And then I'm going to put the lid from this container. This is just a container that I picked up at the dollar store. And I'm going to give them a real good shake to coat those beads completely all over with the acrylic paint. I'm going to take the lid off and just see how they're coated, and they look to be coated really well, and I have quite a bit of paint in there, so I'm actually going to add a few more beads so I don't waste the paint that I have. And again, just give it a real good shake. Now I'm going to pour these beads out onto a paper plate, shake them around a little bit, and I actually had some paint still left over in that little container, so I'm going to throw in some smaller beads also so I don't waste it, and shake those up and coat them really well. Okay, they're coated really well. I'm going to dump them now, all of them, onto the paper plate. I'm going to take my heat gun on the lowest setting and just dry them, and they dry really quickly with this acrylic paint. Just kind of roll them around on that paper plate until they are completely dry. Okay, and now I'm going to do some white, and I've just got some homemade chalk paint, and I'm just adding a little dash of water just to thin it out a little bit, give it a really good stir to incorporate that water into that chalk paint, and then I'm going to put my beads in it and give it a good shake. I like painting the beads like this in small batches. You don't want to put too many in all at once or they won't coat quite as well. I've just thrown in some smaller beads too, and I'm just going to dump them on the paper plate, swirl them around a little bit, and then take the heat gun and dry them, and they will dry really quickly. When I first tried to do this, I tried to use my hair dryer, and it actually came out too fast and I blew my beads all over the place. So I find the heat gun is a little bit more gentler and works better. Now I found that this is more like a whitewash look, and I wanted more of a brighter white, so I'm going to put them back in and give them another really good shake to coat them a little bit more after they've already been dried once, and I'm going to dry them again for the second time. And this time, after drying them, they look fantastic and they're nice and bright and white. I've tried all kinds of different ways to paint beads, and this seriously is the fastest and the easiest way. Now for some of the beads that I painted black, I want to put a little bit of a gold accent on them. So I'm just going to put a couple drops of the gold into the bottom of that dish. You don't want too much because you don't want to completely coat the whole bead in gold. You want some of the black to still show through. And then I'm just taking a skewer and kind of blending it down along the bottom of that dish, so when you put your beads in, it's not a great big glob. It'll kind of just evenly disperse over the whole beads. You'll see when it's finished. It looks fantastic. Give them a real good shake. Have a look at them, see if they're coated enough. Not quite. I'm going to shake it a little bit more. They look fantastic now. Dump them on the paper plate. Take the heat gun, and they'll dry really quickly, and this is going to give them a fantastic gold marbled look on these beads. Now I've put a little tiny bit of the white chalk paint in the bottom of this dish again, and I have some more black beads I'm going to put in, and I want these ones to look more like a black and white marbled look. I'm going to give them a real good shake, and you can already see they're starting to look marbled. And these will look so great if you wanted to make them into jewelry. Okay, I'm gonna dump them out, give them a blast of a little bit of heat with the heat gun. They'll dry really quickly, and these have a fantastic marbled look. You wouldn't even know that they're a wooden bead. Okay, so I have a whole bunch of these little beads that I painted white, and now I'm going to take some fun colors, just acrylic paint, and I'm just going to put a couple little dots of each color in the bottom of the dish, and then swirl them together with a little wooden skewer. You don't want to leave just the dots in a great big blob, because if you put your beads in, it's going to completely coat that whole bead in one singular color. We want kind of that marbled look. Swirl it around, and I think I might have put maybe just a little bit too much pink in this one. I think I'm going to take a little bit out. I think it's just going to be too much, and it's going to look more pink than have the colors blended in. So take a little bit out, swirl them all around, and then we're going to dump those little beads in there and shake them, and these look amazing. I think I'm going to make these little ones into a little piece of jewelry, maybe a little bracelet maybe when they're finished, and it'll look really cute. So I'm just going to dump them really carefully into this little dish, put the lid on, shake away. This is where it can get really fun, and you can add so many different colors together, and so many color combinations. It's just so much fun to do with kids too. Okay, now I think I want to make some that look like terracotta. So I've got this kind of terracotta latex paint that I had left over from a project. Swirl it in the bottom, putting a whole handful of beads in there and giving them a real good shake. And you can leave them exactly like this color, but I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to dry them, and then I'm going to add a little tiny little bit of white, just so it will give that real authentic kind of terracotta look. This is a pretty color, but I think I want to just give a little dash of white just to kind of up it and make it look more realistic, like a terracotta plant or a clay bead. Gonna put a little tiny bit of just some white chalk paint in there, swirl it around a little bit, and then pour the beads in, give it a really good shake, and then put them out on the plate and dry them, and these turned out fantastic. They look just like little pieces of terracotta clay. Okay, now this one was fun. I just got maybe a tablespoon of sand, and I'm just swirling in some white chalk paint into this sand, and I'm gonna make a real beautiful textured bead, throwing them into that mixture, giving them a really good shake, and you should see the texture that this created. It looks just like little stone beads. This little bit of sand mixed in the paint gives it such an amazing texture, kind of like a stone or a cement look. And it kind of takes just a plain ordinary bead and makes them look like something really expensive. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of play around a little bit. I had a little bit of that sand paint left over. Going to add a few drops of blue, take a skewer and kind of swirl it around in that sand paint, and then throw the beads in and give them a really good shake. Okay, I'm loving this. It's kind of like gives me that coastal vibe. I'm gonna dump them out on the plate and dry them. But once I've dumped them out on the plate, I really love this terracotta color with it. So I added a little bit of the terracotta, put the beads back in, gave it another really good shake, and then I really loved them. They turned out so cool. Dry them up, and I think they'll make beautiful jewelry pieces. Okay, so here's all the beads that I created today, and I love them all. You can see how it can get overwhelming with all the different possibilities of all the different colors that you can make, all the different textures, and I'm excited to use these in my projects. So get out your bead stash and give some of these techniques a try. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I love to read them. I'll be sharing so many more DIY, thrifting, repurposing videos, so if you aren't already following along, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and that will let you know when I upload my next video. See you real soon. Take care and have a great day.